Chapter 2 of Stepping Heavenward by E. Prentice. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Missy, Guangzhou, China. Stepping Heavenward by E. Prentice. Chapter 2. June 1st. Last Sunday, Dr. Cabot preached to the young. He first addressed those who knew they did not love God. It did not seem to me that I belonged to that class. Then he spoke to those who knew they did. I felt sure I was not one of those. Last of all, he spoke affectionately to those who did not know what to think, and I was frightened and ashamed to feel tears running down my cheeks when he said that he believed that most of his hearers who were in this doubtful state did really love their Master, only their love was something as new and as tender, and perhaps as unobserved, as the tiny point of green that, forcing its way through the earth, is yet unconscious of its own existence, but promises a thrifty plant. I don't suppose I express it very well, but I know what he meant. He then invited those belonging to each class to meet him on 3 successive Saturday afternoons. I shall certainly go. July 19th. I went to the meeting, and so did Amelia. A great many young people were there, and a few children. Dr. Cabot went about from seat to seat, speaking to each one separately. When he came to us, I expected he would say something about the way in which I had been brought up, and reproach me for not profiting more by the instructions and example I had at home. Instead of that, he said in a cheerful voice, "Well, my dear, I cannot see into your heart and positively tell whether there is love to God there or not. But I suppose you have come here today in order to let me help you to find out?" I said, "Yes." That was all I could get out. "Let me see, then," he went on. "Do you love your mother?" I said, "Yes," once more. "But prove to me that you do. How do you know it?" I tried to think. Then I said, "I feel that I love her. I love to love her. I like to be with her. I like to hear people praise her. And I try, sometimes at least, to do things to please her. But I don't try half as hard as I ought, and I do and say a great many things to displease her." "Yes, yes," he said, "I know." "Has mother told you?" I cried out. "No, dear, no indeed. But I know what human nature is, after having one of my own 50 years, and 6 of my children's to encounter." Somehow I felt more courage after he said that. "In the first place, then, you feel that you love your mother, but you never feel that you love your God and Saviour?" "I often try and try, but I never do," I said. "Love won't be forced," he said quickly. "Then what shall I do?" "In the second place, you like to be with your mother, but you never like to be with the friend who loves you so much better than she does?" "I don't know. I never was with him. Sometimes I think that when Mary sat at his feet and heard him talk, she must have been very happy." "We come to the third test, then. You like to hear people praise your mother. And have you ever rejoiced to hear the Lord magnified?" I shook my head, sorrowfully enough. "Let us then try the last test. You know that you love your mother because you try to do things to please her. That is, to do what you know she wishes you to do?" "Very well. Have you never tried to do anything God wishes you to do?" "Oh, yes, often, but not so often as I ought." "Of course not. No one does that. But come now, why do you try to do what you think will please him? Because it is easy? Because you like to do what he likes rather than what you like yourself?" I tried to think, and got puzzled. "Never mind," said Dr. Cabot. "I have come now to the point I was aiming at. You cannot prove to yourself that you love God by examining your feelings towards him. They are indefinite, and they fluctuate. But just as far as you obey him, just so far, depend upon it, you love him. It is not natural to us sinful, ungrateful human beings to prefer his pleasure to our own, or to follow his way instead of our own way, and nothing but love to him can or does make us obedient to him." "Couldn't we obey him from fear?" Amelia now asked. She had been listening all this time in silence. "Yes, and so you might obey your mother from fear, but only for a season. If you had no real love for her, you would gradually cease to dread her displeasure, whereas it is in the very nature of love to grow stronger and more influential every hour." "You mean, then, that if we want to know whether we love God, we must find out whether we are obeying him?" Amelia asked. "I mean exactly that. 'He that keepeth my commandments, he it is that loveth me.' But I cannot talk with you any longer now. There are many others still waiting. You can come to see me some day next week if you have any more questions to ask." When we got out into the street, Amelia and I got hold of each other's hands. We did not speak a word till we reached the door, but we knew that we were as good friends as ever. "I understand all Dr. Cabot said," Amelia whispered as we separated. But I felt like one in a fog. I cannot see how it is possible to love God, and yet feel as stupid as I do when I think of him. Still, I am determined to do one thing, and that is to pray regularly instead of now and then, as I have got in the habit of doing lately. July 25th. School has closed for the season. I took the first prize for drawing, and my composition was read aloud on examination day, and everybody praised it. Mother could not possibly help showing in her face that she was very much pleased. I am pleased myself. We are now getting ready to take a journey. I do not think I shall go to see Dr. Cabot again. My head is so full of other things, and there is so much to do before we go. I am having 4 new dresses made, and I can't imagine how to have them trimmed. I mean to run down to Amelia's and ask her. July 27th. I was rushing through the hall just after I wrote that, and met Mother. "I'm going to Amelia's," I said, hurrying past her. "Stop 1 minute, dear. Dr. Cabot is downstairs. He says he has been expecting a visit from you, and that as you did not come to him, he has come to you." "I wish he would mind his own business," I said. "I think he is minding it, dear," Mother answered. "His master's business is his, and that has brought him here. Go to him, my darling child. I am sure you crave something better than prizes and compliments, and new dresses and journeys." Now, if anybody but Mother had said that, my heart would have melted at once, and I should have gone right down to Dr. Cabot to be moulded in his hand to almost any shape. But as it was, I brushed past, ran into my room, and locked my door. Oh, what makes me act so? I hate myself for it, and I don't want to do it. Last week I dined with Mrs. Jones. Her little Tommy was very fond of me, and that, I suppose, makes her have me there so often. Lucy was at the table, and very fractious. She cried first for one thing, and then for another. At last her mother, in a gentle but very decided way, put her down from the table. Then she cried louder than ever. But when her mother offered to take her back if she would be good, she screamed yet more. She wanted to come, and wouldn't let herself come. I almost hated her when I saw her act so, and now I am behaving 10 times worse, and I am just as miserable as I can be. July 29th. Amelia has been here. She has had her talk with Dr. Cabot, and is perfectly happy. She says it is so easy to be a Christian. It may be easy for her, everything is. She never has any of my dreadful feelings, and does not understand them when I try to explain them to her. Well, if I am fated to be miserable, I must try to bear it. October 3rd. Summer is over, school has begun again, and I am so busy that I have not much time to think, to be low-spirited. We had a delightful journey, and I feel well and bright and even gay. I never enjoyed my studies as I do those of this year. Everything goes on pleasantly here at home. But James has gone away to school, and we miss him sadly. I wish I had a sister, though I dare say I should quarrel with her if I had. October 23rd. I am so glad that my studies are harder this year, as I am never happy except when every moment is occupied. However, I do not study all the time by any means. Mrs. Gordon grows more and more fond of me, and has me there to dinner or to tea continually. She has a much higher opinion of me than Mother has, and is always saying the sort of things that make you feel nice. She holds me up to Amelia as an example, begging her to imitate me in my fidelity about my lessons, and declaring there is nothing she so much desires as to have a daughter bright and original like me. Amelia only laughs, and goes and purrs in her mother's ears when she hears such talk. It costs her nothing to be pleasant. She was born so. For my part, I think myself lucky to have such a friend. She gets along with my odd, hateful ways better than anyone else does. Mother, when I boast of this, says she has no penetration into character, and that she would be fond of almost any one fond